This is Wade, and you are in Wade World. Hall Rlo Prillalar. Try to say that three times fast. So, today we're going to talk about a very influential book that is called Ringworld. And from the name, you can sort of somewhat understand what it's about. It's about a world that is in the shape of a ring around the sun. Now, there are spoilers ahead, so if you just want an overview, you can stick around for the first part of this video, and then before the spoilers start, Wade will tell you. Now, interestingly, most of you are familiar with the game Halo. That is also a giant ring, sometimes around planets, over which human beings fight. And there's a whole story behind human beings are the inheritors of the people who built the ring. So the precursors, the forerunners, and then humanity in Halo. But interestingly, Halo 100% took its inspiration from the idea of the novel The Ringworld, which was written in the 1970s. And there's a series of novels that have still been coming out till recently. So the whole story about Ringworld, it's fascinating. And a brief overview is if you read all the main Ringworld novels, they start off as very interesting, somewhat funny, with a bit of a story and technology mixed in. So it's like Discworld, which we are going to talk about another time. Wade has read all of these worlds. But it goes from that light-hearted, funny tech story to it gets a little more serious, philosophical as the decades passed. So the overview is that the story is about this guy, Louis Wu. So humanity has become an interstellar species centuries down the line. It has also invented teleportation over limited distances. So you can step from, for example, Los Angeles to San Francisco to London to Barcelona to Beijing to Dubai to Brazil instantly. And then from there to Berlin and Hong Kong, Norway, Delhi, pick your city. So while he is celebrating his 200th birthday, and humanity has also invented a drug which keeps you young for a long, long time. So you can live like 500 years, 1,000 years. It just resets your body back to young age when you're old enough when you take it. So he's bored. It's his 200th birthday party, and he's hopping around the globe 1 hour before midnight. So remember, it's midnight at different times at different cities in the globe. And he is celebrating it because he has lived for 200 years. He's basically a guy who, runs around, parties a lot. He has a lot of friends. So he's basically hitting up all these cities so that his birthday doesn't end until the whole 24 hours are passed. And in one of the birthday locations, he's approached by a creature, an alien, who has a very sexy, girly voice. So Wade is a man, can't do girly voice, but just imagine like a sexy contralto girl voice. And this alien wants to recruit him for a mission to go to somewhere, which the alien is not telling him where. But this alien is from a race that is called the puppeteers, and they're considered cowards. They have two heads with two large eyes, three legs, two in the front, two in the back, mane of hair. This alien is called Nessus. And Louis at first is not interested. He's like, why should I come with you? This is stupid. And then he says, well, I know you are bored. You lived for 200 years, and every couple of decades, you just leave the earth and go on sabbatical for 10 or 20 years sometimes to get away from humanity. And it's been 20 years since the last time you took your vacation. So I know you're itching to go. And this is going to be interesting, more interesting than what you're doing here. And there is a reward, of course, if you come. So Louis is somewhat intrigued, but he's still not convinced. So he says, "All right, come with me and we'll meet the next member of our team. There need to be four members of the team." So Louis is like, "All right, I got nothing better to do." So now the puppeteers have more advanced technology than humanity at this point. And humanity became interstellar because an outsider ship, these are like octopuses with liquid helium going through their veins, and they are very, very advanced. So they were passing through the solar system, and humans were already in space, but they sold humanity hyperdrives, which allowed humanity to really become interstellar. So after this, the humans went into a war. Man went into a war with the huge cat-like people. I would like to say Zinti. It could be Kinti. We're gonna stick with Zinti, right? So these are like 8 foot tall, sharp teeth, sharp claws, hugely muscular, very strong creatures that are basically like giant upright cats. And very, very bloodthirsty, and mankind defeated them. So these are very violent, very quick to anger, very quick to violence, hair trigger temper, right? Type. So they transport instantly to a restaurant where the Zinti, because they've lost the war, so now they've had to learn diplomacy, which they never had to before they lost four wars to humanity, right? So humanity basically decimated the population. So they go to this restaurant, they sit down at a table next to these four Zinti, who are a part of the ambassadors of Zinti to Earth. So you have to understand the Zinti didn't have a concept of an ambassador before they were defeated by mankind 4 times. Now they developed the concept of let's talk to our people because we're not going to win the fight with them. And the thing is, with such touchy people who are very quick to violence, you have to be ultra respectful. You can't be stupid and say stupid and disrespectful things like, I'm just joshing and all that. This doesn't fly with people who have that code of honor, right? Or species. So Nessus insults in a loud, loud voice that the Zinti by saying that the son of their leader, the Zinti is called the patriarchy. So they are like very male dominated, masculine species. So Nessus, this race of cowardly people, species, alien, says very loudly, like the the king of the Zinti's son uh, is my dishwasher, which is a huge insult. Immediately, Zinti get up and want to fight, and they said like, "Are you ready to die now, or do you need some time?" And this puppeteer, this two-headed alien who's a coward, he says that. Before you kill me, what if I offer you an adventure of a lifetime, and then if it doesn't live up to you, you know, I'm ready to face you. So these are cowards. These are they have a reputation of being cowardly, to running away from danger. Like literally, if they are in danger, they turn around and run away, which is going to be explained later. And because the Zinti have a very interesting structure, so you have to earn a name, like the name. If you have a name John, right? Before you can earn the name John, you're just given a title. So the Zinti that he talks to is called speaker to animals because the Zinti consider all other alien races below them and as animals. So it's not a good title. They had to be diplomats for the first time in their long, long, long history, millennia of being an advanced interstellar species, and they were humiliated. So it's a humiliating title that not only do you have to live among these human animals, or but you have to talk to them and not kill them. And before they can fight, there is another Zinti that apologizes, and his title is He Who Apologizes, which is even horrible title because Zinti never apologizes. They basically, if you anger them, they fight you until you kill them or they kill you. So anyway, he apologizes for the speaker to animals, and speaker to animals is invited, and he's curious. So he's like, all right, I will see what your trip is about. So now there are 3 people, and now Nessus says, we need a 4th person. And he goes back to uh, Louis' another birthday party in another location. So as the story progresses, we're not to the spoilers yet, we're just in the introduction. So when they get to this party, Louis and Nessus and the Zinti, they're talking, and Louis asks them, who is the fourth person that you are looking for? And so Nessus tells them that the, the puppeteers, the human beings, mankind had a breeding program because of overpopulation. You had to earn your birthright, the right to earn uh, the ability to have children. And once it got under control, it was creating such an awesome amount of resentment that the Earth government basically started a lottery. So you could win a lottery and then have a child, even if you didn't earn your birthright that year. So Nessus says that, no spoilers now, spoilers later. Nessus says that he is hunting for a lucky human who is born to the six generations of lottery winners. So that means their great, great, great grandfather, great great grandfather, great grandfather, grandfather, father, all of them won the lottery. And they were born because they won the lottery, or on the mother's side. Anyway, you know. So Louis laughs at it and he's like, that's ridiculous. What do you think? They're going to be lucky? And he's like, yes, it would seem that they would be lucky because they have the genes for luck. And Louis considered this preposterous. While he's saying this is nonsense, and Nessus says he's been trying to reach all of the lottery winners, but sometimes they just leave when he arrives. Sometimes he just misses their call. Sometimes they're not home. So it's like a pattern of this very advanced species trying to find these people, these lottery winners, right? And he can never find them. It's not coincidence. It's like a very, very tiny probability that he can find none of these thousands of people. But that's what happens. So he's complaining. He's like, I don't know where to find one. So anyway, Louis says, I'm going to get a drink. This sounds ridiculous. And he meets this very beautiful girl who is so, the fashion of the time is to color shade your skin and, obviously shade your hair or whatever. So this girl has got midnight blue skin with silver lines or designs on it. Beautiful girl. And her name is Tila Brown. So of course she's intrigued with Louis because he's known by everybody and all like high status people. So she starts talking to Louis. Louis likes her. He's not too concerned with getting attached because he's 200 years old, right? He had children. He's had relationships. He understands it's a very long time to live. So he says to Tila Brown, like, you're interesting, and he finds her interesting, and he tells her a little bit about uh, where they're going. Obviously, after they've been together, so he gets up next morning, and she asks, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "I have this puppeteer." And when the puppeteer comes to his party, right, you have to understand that for human beings, seeing a puppeteer was very rare at that point of time. They had already been away from public eye for like a century or two, and nobody knows where their home world is. So, first of all, not only is Louis very popular, not only does he know very popular people, but he knows very rare aliens. So she's intrigued. And he's like, oh, he's looking for a lucky person. We're going on an adventure. And she's not interested. And she's like, oh, all right, that sounds good. But then he says, do you want to meet him, Nessus? And she's like, all right. So they go to meet Nessus, and Nessus is like, that is one of the lucky persons that I've been trying to reach. And she's like, what do you mean lucky? And then he says, you are the child of six generational lottery winners. And she like insulted you. Like, she like, what do you mean? I'm special. I'm unique. What do you mean I was bred for luck, like a racehorse? And she get really offended. She's like, I don't want any part of this, whatever you're doing, and I don't even want to talk to you. She just storms off. And what happens when these puppeteers, these Nessus species of uh, Nessus species, right? Things, they get scared is they tuck their heads with their eyes between their four legs and they just curl up into like a turtle shell. So Louis sees that he's panicked now. So he's like, "What happened to you? You challenged Zinti yesterday, and nobody did us that." It's insane. It's like a death wish. What happened today? He's like, yesterday I was in my manic phase. Today I'm in my depressive phase. So they have these phases, their own biology. So anyway, after some time, Louis and Tila are talking, and suddenly she says, I'm going to come with you. I've decided. And he's like, why? Why do you change your mind? I don't want you to come. And he sees like this is a very young girl. She's like 20 years old. And she's not really lived life. She's not really uh, faced disappointment or anything else. And he knows this could be very, very dangerous. It's not all glamorous. And she says, I'm going to come because I'm in love with you. So he's like, he sees that he can't change his mind. And he's like, all right. So he goes to Nessus and he's like, all right, we've got these four. We got the team of four. Nessus is like, sweet. So they go to the ship, and now Nessus's species, right? I'm going to fix this real quick. Nessus's species is also the species that provides spaceships to basically everybody because they have a corporation known as General Products. So the General Products Corporation designs the General Products hull. Now, the General Products hull is pretty much indestructible, allegedly, and these Nessus species designs and sells them. So he takes them in his ship. They go to the home world of Nessus, and for the first time they see, they don't know how they get there, but they see that it's not just a home world, it's an entire 5 planets, along with the sun in the center, traveling through space. So their mind is blown. They're like, what? What? How are you moving planets and the sun, like the whole solar system? So anyway, Nessus, they get to their planet and they realize that in mankind, you have to get into a booth on Earth. You have to get into a booth and in other man's world to teleport somewhere. In Nessus's world, it's like a stepping stone. You just step on the stone and immediately you're transported somewhere else. It's like way more advanced. So they go and Estes says like, all right, the thing is we've discovered this huge secret and we're going to go to this location and you are the representatives of the different species and a great team. And I need to earn my right to have a child. So I'm going to propose that this trip be funded by the council. And again, in Nessus's world, they also need to do something to earn the right to breed. Basically, this is like humans, Inti, and the puppeteers. So he comes back from his meeting, and while he's in the meeting, another puppeteer comes, and it's a hologram, and he's like talking to these people, to the team, and then Nessus comes back, and he's very panicked, and he's like, you know, and he's asked by Louis, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Aren't you guys supposed to be cowards? And he's like, well, I'm mad. I'm considered insane. That's why I'm doing it. And he's like, I got approval and I threatened that if they don't give me approval, the secret will be lost forever. And if I win, I asked for the hand of the leader of the puppeteers in marriage. So it's like, he's got balls. So and he's like, yeah, and they agreed. So my I'm going to mate with the king of the puppeteers or whatever, and they're like, all right, cool. So they consider their females, which we are going to come to maybe later, or it's going to remain spoilers. So you can think of it. There's a secret about their female as well. So it takes 3 puppeteers to make a child, and the female is basically they say it doesn't move much. It's not really sentient, so it doesn't really think. One puppeteer creates sperm, one creates eggs. You know. So anyway, all of these four they go into this special ship that the puppeteers have designed that goes even faster than hyperdrive, and they go to this place with the which Nessus has not told anyone what it is. And as they approach it, they see like a star, and it's surrounded by a tiny blue ribbon as they come from afar. And as they're going closer and closer, they realize, holy hell, this is like an entire world built like a ring around the star. Now, the scale of this world, this is the ring world. It's a world with mountains and oceans and deserts and entire, not just continents, entire maps of worlds laid on it. To give you a scale of how large the ring world is, and it still looks tiny when you see it from afar next to the sun. Just the width of the ring world, if we remember this correctly, just the width can fit 30 Earths, or maybe more than 30 Earths. Think a 30 Earths, maybe 50 Earths. That's just the width. And the entire surface area could fit, believe it's 3 million or 300 million Earths. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Makes you want to go check it out. So you should. How large is the surface area of the ring world? It's either 3 million Earths, or 3 million planets, or 300 million, which is insane. So they actually, as they approach, they're attacked by some defense systems of the ring world and they crash, and their ship is out of commission. And they crash next to this mountain that is like the largest mountain on the ring world. It goes beyond the atmosphere of the ring world. So this is a mountain that's 1,000 miles high. 1,000 miles high. If you look at Mount Everest, that's like maybe less than 30 kilometers high. This is 1,000 miles high. Just the scale of this thing, right? The mountain. They crash right next to it. And then they decide, all right, let's explore the ring world and try to find a way to fix the ship and get out, because obviously we need to come back with, a better preparation and a better sense of what is required. And what's interesting is throughout the crash, Tila Brown doesn't get hurt. She jumps down from and the ship to the planet without a suit, which is quite stupid because you have to test the air to see if it's breathable. Nothing happens to her. And while Louis been telling her, like, yo, you've never been hurt because you might be lucky. I don't believe in it, but you might be. And she's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. That's nonsense. So he's like, all right, I'm tired of telling you to do the right thing. So I'm just going to let you get hurt because pain will teach you. And he says, I'm going to go, while you guys stay here, I'm going to go and check out what's on the rim of this crater that we have created. And they created a thousands of miles long crater because their ship was traveling at some velocity and the ring world is rotating at 770 miles per second. So it's like not only are you smashing against something, but you're smashing against it at your high speed and its high speed. So they leave like a thousands of miles long scar across the ring world. And they end up in that desert next to this huge mountain, right? So the crash is so recent that the walls around where they are still hot with lava. They melted the world to that extent. And the ground beneath them is some grayish, slippery stuff. So immediately they realize that the ring world only has 40 or 50 feet of Earth. And below that is this grayish stuff. And that's it. So you're not going to be drilling anything. So this ring world was created by someone, right? Also, on their flight to the ring world, they see on the dark side, they see depressions, which would they assume correctly are oceans or lakes. Then they see dips in the dark side, which would be mountains. So the dark side is like the background of a 3D map. So Louis has warned Tila Brown not to mess around, and he sees that she's also going to join him. And he realizes she's not wearing any protective clothing, and she's trying to climb this lava wall that he's climbing with his super protective suit. So he's like, I'm not going to tell her. So he starts climbing, and she yelps in a few seconds and runs down. And again, she runs down on lava wearing slippers. Nothing happens to her. So anyway, the guys, this team, they bring out fly cycles, which is like flying motorcycles, and they all, get into formation and start exploring the ring world. And this thing is humongous. This thing is so huge, right? So this is the ring world, right? So the world is basically these two gigantic walls and this in between around a ring. And the walls are basically mountains. So the walls of the ring world are mountains. So you would assume if you were living in such a world that you could look right and left and you could see the walls, right? No. Remember, it's like 30 or 50 Earths large just in width. So when they looked right and left, they realized that the horizon just continues indefinitely. So you feel like you're just in a world. This is the world which has the maps of worlds in it. So if you're sitting somewhere in a house that's in a country, that's on a continent, that's on a world. This place has the entire world as a map. So, and that's not just one world, that's just one map. There might be multiple maps in all directions to that world. So they look around and they're like, wow, this place is humongous because we can't see the mountains at all. It just looks like a normal world, except for this huge arch that you see overhead. Like again, if you played Halo, what do you see? It's the ring world brought to life. You see this huge arch, and all you see is the clouds. And if you look right and left, it just looks like a normal world with this huge arch overhead that disappears in the sky. So the ring world is a story of these four having adventures, meeting different people. There are floating cities, and there are oceans and deserts and mountains and hills. There are multiple species. There are vampires. There are ghouls that eat the dead and will attack you if you burn or bury them. And there are giants, vegetarian giants, carnivorous dwarves. It's just a huge, huge variety of people in this novel. And the whole journey of the first Ring World novel is the journey of these four to explore the mysteries of the Ring World, find out who built it, find out who lives in it, and face all the dangers that come within it. Now, the story is fascinating. Wade urges you to read it, and if you're really hooked, to read all the series, which comes with some breathtaking surprises. Breathtaking surprises. If anyone wants Wade to continue, you can comment in the comments below. But the next continuation would probably take some time to allow you to finish these. Now, Wade finished this in a few days because Wade reads very fast. But it might take you, God knows how long. You know, Wade knows how long. So, this is the ring world that our heroes land on. It's very unique, full of very unique people, spread all over the place, look like everything. And it's not for children in some aspects. Like, if you think you should give it to your child, that's not really the theme of this book. It's very similar to Discworld, where Discworld would be more towards children, slightly more, not truly. But this is more towards teenagers and up, because there are themes of sex and violence and other things in there. In fact, on the ring world, one more thing Wade is going to leave you with. There is a mechanism where two different peoples meet to avoid conflict, which is basically have interspecies sex. It's ridiculous, ridiculous. Somewhat overall, it's an interesting story. Some elements of risque, some elements almost veering into degenerate element, but not really. It's just an alien world with all of the imagination of the writer thrown in there. And overall, an interesting read, especially the first book before it becomes super serious. Because as the writer grew older, I think Wade thinks he became more serious, so that reflected in his books. But that's the ring world. Wade has told you the start of the journey. Now it's up to you to finish the journey. Hope you enjoy it. We'll be doing more of these book reviews because Wade has been reading since he was 3, and there's a lot of them to go through. So, Ringworld, check this book out. It's great. Check it out before they make a movie out of it and really ruin it. But it's a fantastic description of a world that could actually be designed to exist if we had the technology with its own captive sun. For example, there are shades around the sun that mimic night and day because they rotate and throw shadows on the ring world. But your morning is pretty much like a few seconds of the sun coming out of the night shadow, and bam, noon. Also, the ring world's days are 30 hours long, assuming 15 hours of sunlight and 15 hours of night. It's very fascinating. So, Wade recommends Ringworld if you are 12 or 13 or up. It's an interesting book, interesting themes, fun read, and doesn't take itself too seriously. Hope you enjoy it. Until next time, keep it cool, keep it smart, and as always, in Wade World, enjoy.